triple jump. Olga Rypakova in the triple jump. Rypakova, of course, of Kazakhstan, and an athlete, newly crowned world indoor champion. I say newly crowned, it was back in March, but the 25-year-old in wonderful form, and that's some consolation for her fourth place in the Olympic Games in Beijing. And that's not a bad effort at all. Rypakova there, opened with 14.34. That one very close to pushing out towards 15 meters. Good pentathlete as well, by the way. This is Rypakova. Won in Shanghai 3 weeks ago with 14 meters 89. And that one from Rypakova, 14.74 in round 2.
Saladuka. Next up, the Ukrainian, twice winner of the European Cup. We've seen her before. Has actually been unbeaten this season. Hasn't done many competitions though, mostly in Poland and in the Ukraine. Was 9th in the Olympic Games in Sydney, rather in Beijing. She's got a personal best of 14.84. That was set 2 seasons ago, but 14.76 this season. So if she can find that sort of form, we'll see. That's short again, isn't it? The rhythm not quite right. If it's just slightly off in this event, you're in trouble, and that's what she's finding difficult at the moment. It's not bad. Now then, 14 meters and 18. There's the series, incidentally. 14.44 is the best. She's in 3rd place at the moment.
Well, the one track performance we've seen so far since you joined us has suggested that conditions are absolutely brilliant down there on the track, and it promises so much for Asafa Powell coming up later on in the evening, even though Powell's event, ironically, the 100 meters tonight, is not a Diamond League event. This event is a Diamond League event, the women's 3,000 meter steeplechase, and quite a big field it is too. 13 starters going off in this one. The fastest time in the world this year, 9 minutes 12 by Milka Chemos, and she is in the lineup. Good mix of Europeans and top Africans in this one. Andrea Hyman of Jamaica will be the pacemaker. She's better known as an 800 meter runner, but what a good job she's done in recent races, both in Shanghai and Oslo, pacing to the 2 fastest times of the world in the world this year, and both those races won by Kenyans, Gladys Jerotich Kipkemoi and Milka Chemos Chewa. And they finished 1st and 2nd in those races, but reversed positions in Oslo last Friday. So a nice little match-up this is turning into between Chemos and Kipkemoi. It was a great race in Huelva in Spain last night, by the way, with the world champion Marta Dominguez winning in 9.17 from Jessica Augusto of Portugal, who ran 9.18. That was a new Portuguese record. The British record holder goes in this one, Ellen Clitheroe, 9.29, her best time. Pace that Andrea Hyman has been asked to lay down is 73 seconds per lap, which would bring them home in around 9 minutes and 8 seconds. And that's quite a tall order if I tell you that only one woman in history has gone under 9 minutes, and that, of course, Samitova Galkina of Russia when she won the Olympic title in Beijing. But that, in fact, only 4 women have ever gone under 9.08. Well, you'll understand that it's perhaps a little on the optimistic side, that pace-making tempo that's been requested. Let's wait and see. Maybe the best in this race will prove me wrong. This race due off, incidentally, at 1:15, so it's time they were getting underway. Good crowd has gathered over the last half hour or so in this Olympic arena. But of course it's in a stadium that can boast a capacity of some 85,000, and therefore you put 15, 20, 25,000 in here and they look a bit lost. Here we go. Well, the pacemaking roll. in safe hands thanks to Hyman's experience. She's a sub-2 minute 800-meter runner, incidentally. I'm not sure how many world-class 800-meter runners have ever cleared a barrier in a steeplechase, pacemaking or in anger. But Hyman's making a good job of it this summer so far. And straight away as they come down below us, the Kenyans slot into those front positions. And already that group getting away. There's a group of, what, 5 or 6 leading now.
Chewa is there, of course. Kemoi, all the principals. Rotich is there. And they've already made a break away from the rest of this field, so they're clearly going for the faster time. And really, we've had some fine runs. Kip Kemoi won the Shanghai race, is in that group. Rotich was third in Shanghai, third in Oslo, also in that group. And they really are now making it 2 different races. There's a big group following, but this is going to be, I would think, quick. Once again, as you said, Tim, earlier, the pacemaking's been good, and if it's repeated here, then, well, who knows? We could well get another very, very quick time indeed.
Yes, they come to the water jump for the first time.
Rotich.
And, they make a bit of a dog's dinner of it, but they go clear. Rotich in second place behind Hyman. On the outside there is Chewa in the purple. Asefa is also there for Ethiopia, the 22-year-old. It was a World Championship finalist last year, 4th in Oslo last week, in pretty good form, 9:23 in Oslo. But that gap between the Africans and the rest of the world, so to speak, is really marked at the moment. The tall figure in green there is Violeta Frankovic, 5th in Oslo. She too in very good form, but the gulf between the top African distance runners and, well, the rest of the world is very, very clearly displayed in this particular race. It's not even 2 laps old.
Well, the shot bringing you up to date with this. Dylan Armstrong's 4th round throw. 21:39 his lead so far. Oh, he's hit that one as well, and that's another big one over 21 meters. Well, he ate so much at lunchtime, I'm not surprised. Full of energy. Chicken leg after chicken leg. Turns off that left foot, spins really hard, and there's a torque created. It's a winding up, and then he lifts out of it. It's very, very difficult, this. And then he hits it, and the reverse is very, very soundly performed here. And that's well over 21 meters again. Well, he's certainly put the cat amongst the pigeons here, because Christian Cantwell is back over 21 meters, but not dominating. But that's another very fine throw indeed. Dylan Armstrong then. Canadian record holder, indoors and out. So back to the steeplechase.
Yes, indeed, it is the steeplechase. 6 athletes there. Hyman doing a good job at the moment, but under a little bit of pressure now. And they're moving through strongly down the back straight there, and it's beginning to reduce to single file for the first time. And chomping at the bit there is Rotich on the shoulder of Hyman, who frankly might as well move aside now. Down to 5. Hyman does indeed move aside after just over 3 laps. And they come to the water jump again, and it's the Kenyans imposing their dominance on this one. Coming into the straight now, Kip Kemoi, it is who leads. From Rotich, Asefa struggling to go with them, looks quite heavy behind the 2 Kenyans. And Chewa in 4th place at the moment.
Well, let's have a look at the triple jump. I said there were 7 field events going on. They really are going very, very well here at the moment. And Savigny's 5th round jump. 14:62 her best so far. That looks a little better. Oh, and it is a bit better. That looks to be closer to the 15-meter mark. Good rhythm, good speed. She controlled it well on the board. And she's getting a good series, really. 14:24, 14:62, 14:41, 14:60, and that looks as though it might be a bit better. Lovely alternate arm shift in the middle, good leg shoot at the end. And now what's she got? Coach being consulted. Well, she's got 14:74, and that's the lead again. And it's all happening in the steeplechase.
3:01.70 they were at 1,000 metres. It's very quick indeed, around 9:05 pace, and they negotiate that water jump once more, and we're down to 4. It's still Kip Kemoy leading. Chewa on her shoulder in the purple there. Rotic on the inside trying to find a bit of daylight, and Assefa battling on her own about, 5 or 6 metres down. But it's Chewa now who pushes to the front. And with 3 laps to go, we've got a Kenyan 1-2-3 at the moment. The gap growing marginally. Back to Assefa in 4th place. In 5th and in complete isolation at the moment is Njoroge. So it's Kenyans 1, 2, 3 and 5. And these 3 are definitely getting away. And Chewa pushing the pace here. And it looked like she's enjoying it. She's the fastest in the world this year. The 6th fastest in history. Was 2nd in Shanghai, but got revenge in Oslo last Friday with a big win there in 9:12. And with 1 kilometre to go, these 3 just making hard work of getting away from the second placer, from the second group, I should say. Call it a group, it's a little unfair, but it was 6:05 at 2,000. Now that's encouraging because it suggests that middle kilometre was around 3:04. They've gone very, very quickly. They've held the pace well through that middle section, and it's so often tempting to ease off before that final gathering over the last couple of laps. Rotic dogging the heels of the leader, Kemoy. And Chewa just beginning to drop back a little bit. Kip Kemoy leading from Rotic. Chewa in 3rd and losing a little bit of ground. I thought she was beginning to impose herself on the other 2 in blue, but no. Less than 2 laps to run, and Chewa now apparently hanging on. This is going to be quick. It's going to be very quick. Fastest time in the world this year, just to remind you, 9:12 by Chewa. She's in 3rd place and struggling. So whether or not there's any teamwork here, I don't think the colours really mean anything, but Kip Kemoy and Rotic really turning the screw.
Well, for British viewers, Helen Clitheroe is now approximately 200 metres down on the leaders now. This is a tough race for her. The British record holder has got a best of 9:29, and these girls are running much, much quicker than that. And the pace, the temperature, all of those factors working against. It's going to be a quick one, as we've said. Kip Kemoy from Rotic, these 2, a little glance over the shoulder. All of a sudden we'll see that Mika Chemos, better known as Chemos perhaps, in 3rd place now, and you can see the gap for yourself.
Well, they're coming towards the bell, and there's no quarter being given at all. Kip Kemoy leading at the bell, just outside 8 minutes. Rotic right beside her. This is a very, very tough battle between these 2, and they're running hard. A little glance over the shoulder there. Was that Rotic had a little glance over the shoulder, and that usually suggests the athlete's really feeling the pressure. Chewa in 3rd place, chasing hard, and if anything, closing up on them. She's by far the leanest of the 3, much longer of leg, and beginning to close now on Rotic, I think, who's eased back in 2nd place. Down the back straight they go. And it's looking promising, this one, for a Kenyan 1-2-3, because Assefa has lost a lot of ground over the last lap and a half or so. Water jump for the final time. Negotiate this safely, and they're almost home and dry, if you'll forgive the pun. But Chewa has rallied. Look at this, over the final 200. Kip Kemoy, does she know Chewa's there? Rotic back in 3rd is well beaten, but Kip Kemoy's going to have to raise her game here. Chewa's the athlete with momentum. They take the final barrier, and Chewa kicks hard again, punches the arms harder, and crosses the line in the lead. What a great run that is from Chewa, perfectly timed. 9:11.71, the fastest time in the world this year. That's a special performance, and there's so much more to come, one senses, from these Kenyans. Goodness me. They get quicker and quicker as each race unfolds. 9 minutes might be a long way away, but I wouldn't write off it being broached before the end of the summer. Well, Chewa from Kip Kemoy and Rotic, the 1-2-3, and that time 9:11.71 is of the very, very highest order. Only some 7 athletes have gone quicker than that in history. It's a new personal, or a new season's best for Chewa. But she has the form here. approaching the final barrier. They both take it pretty well. Both dig deep. All credit for Kip Kemoi for battling hard there and doing so much of the work through that one, but she loses by 5 meters.
There's a 100 meters coming up.
Well, there's the allocation of points. Milka Chemoschewa has now accrued 10 Diamond League points to Kip Kemoi's 8 and Rotich's 3, thanks to the dishing out of points tonight. 4-2-1, remember, for the first 3. First gets 4 points.
Well, this is the big man, Christian Cantwell, unbeaten all season. And this a real opportunity for him because he's not winning this one. 21. He needs more than, what, 21.46 to take over the lead. The big fella. Oh, he's hit that well. Oh, he's done it again. It's the last round throw. This man is unbelievable. Unbelievable. Such a big fella. And such a powerhouse. Look at this. It's difficult for a big man to negotiate a circle like this. He gets the rotation well. He's the world champion, of course. The Olympic silver medalist, 3 times world indoor champion. And when the chips are down, he launches that one. That was brilliant. Well, that's got the lead back, that's for sure. It's taken him right the way through this competition to do it, mind you. Javelin. Also at the far end of the stadium. He's just looking to see Spatakova's lead, 68-66. She's passed the 5th round, incidentally. That Rebrik of the Ukraine throw, a no throw there, as you can see, her best 62.44. And that 6th round no throw finds her still in 3rd place. Steps over the line, doesn't want it measured, no point. So Spatakova from Viljoen of the Republic of South Africa is in 2nd place. Looking at Goldie Sayers, 61 meters and 23, Goldie. In the last round. That's getting better. He had so many injuries. This is Viljoen in the last 6th round. Remember, she's in 2nd place with 63 meters and 4. Now then. Very quick. Oh, what a fast arm too. It stalled a bit though, and that's not going to affect the lead position, that's for sure. The real athlete. The waistline strapped to prevent the tensions on the back, the small of the back as that lean back occurs. So she stays in 2nd place. Rebrik is 3rd, Viljoen is 2nd, and I just wonder whether Spatakova will take her final throw, because she knows that she's won. No, she hasn't. It's just come on the computer that she's passing the last round, so Spatakova wins it to 68 meters and 66. Then Viljoen of South Africa, 63.04. Rebrik of the Ukraine, 3rd, the 62.44. Very fine competition.
Well, that's a winning shot by Christian Cantwell, by the way, a meeting record.
Well, there's the lineup for the women's 100 meters. Bailey of Jamaica, Asumnu of USA, Barber USA, Fraser Jamaica, Moore USA, Stirrup Bahamas, Ferguson McKenzie Bahamas, Harrigan British Virgin Islands, and Allor of Italy. We'll meet them one at a time. Conditions look pretty good. The 4th lane is that diminutive figure of Shelly-Ann Fraser, the Olympic champion and the world champion. She's absolutely tiny. She's next to Shanti Moore. But meanwhile, back over in the field events, right, Aileen Bailey, drawn in the inside lane. One of the relay team competitors in the 204 Olympics, Asumnu, incidentally, in the 2nd lane. 11.15 this season. That's Michele Barber of the United States. 11.17 this season, not quite as quick as in 2007. She won Oslo though, so she's quite in good form. The Olympic champion, the world champion. Second in the Shanghai Diamond League 100. One in Ostrava with a world best over 100 yards of 10.15. There, that's one for the statisticians. Ashanti Moore, big improver this year, won the 200 in Oslo. We thought at the time she'd run inside a lane, and she was later disqualified. Chandra Stirrup, former world indoor champion, now 38 years old, 6th in the World Indoor Championship this year in Doha, over 60 meters. Debbie Ferguson McKenzie of the Bahamas, drawn in lane 7. Tahisha Harrigan, 11.16 this season, so she could be in contention. And Audrey Allo of Italy, drawn on the outside. Bailey, Asumnu, Barber, Fraser, Moore, Stirrup, Ferguson McKenzie, Harrigan and Allo. The women's 100 meters. The athletes just being introduced to the crowd. Nervous moments all round in these major championship meets and these Diamond League meetings. There'll be a big cheer for the next introduction. There's Fraser, but they've just introduced Ashanti Moore. Big improver over 100 and 200. Just talking across pictures for a moment. It's a tall figure just to the on the left as you look at the shot from Shelly-Ann Fraser. Just a last little glimpse as they line up. She's had a lane in all 6 Olympic sprint finals so far in this century. That's a statistic for you for Debbie Ferguson McKenzie. Ashanti Moore, 10.97 this year. Fraser, 11.04. Barber, 11.17. Stirrup, 11.14. Should be close. The women's 100 meters. Bailey, Asumnu, Barber, Fraser, Moore, Stirrup, Ferguson McKenzie, Harrigan and Allo. Someone's got away. Now whether that was technical, it could well be. Michaeli Barber in lane 3, it could be. Michaeli Barber could be in trouble here. It looked to me as though she got just slightly ahead of the rest. Have a look. Oh yes, it did, didn't she?
Way out ahead of them, Stu. I'm not sure what was going on there because that wasn't even close.
I don't know whether it was a sound problem, whether she'll get away with that and whether they'll issue a green card, but we've already had one disqualification here in the earlier races, in the B races. I have a feeling that official will raise a red card in a moment. If it's a green one, she's lucky. If it's a red one, she's gone. She's not turning to look, is she? And I don't blame her. I have a feeling that's going to be red. It's a shame. I can't see the official now. Oh, there he is. Now, has he got a red card?
Oh, yes. No, he held his red card out. Yep.
Yes, he did, didn't he? Yeah.
As soon as she turned to look, he was ready and waiting.
I think she's gone. Yes, she has. So, Michaeli Barber was one of the athletes that we might have expected to do well in this, has gone with a false start. But being next to Fraser, got it wrong. Shelly-Ann Fraser, the Olympic champion, drawn in the 4th lane. Oh, and I think the Olympic champion's gone this time.
I think you're right.
I think Fraser could have gone. Shelly-Ann Fraser might well have gone. Well, the new false start rule is claiming some big names here.
It's funny, isn't it? It's been in operation since the beginning of the year, and we haven't really we've had very few incidents. I'm wondering whether or not she was full started by Moore, decided to set off by Moore. Well, I don't think so.
She's walked off. She's not even waiting for the red card unless she's going across to chat.
But she fell forwards out of the block, Stu, and it was just poor discipline on her part. That's one of the first very high-profile races we've seen, I think, since the new rule came in, where two big names have disqualified themselves.
Well, there's nothing much bigger than the Olympic champion and world champion, is there? And Lashonte Moore has left all on her own there. And 2 empty lanes, I think. 3 and 4.
There it is again. That shot of Shelly-Ann Fraser. How unusual is that? And she knows about it too. There was no waiting for the red card on her part. She strode off straight away.
Well, on the right of your shot, Bailey, Asumnu, then the 2 empty lanes, Moore, Stirrup, Ferguson, McKenzie, Harrigan and Alloa. The women's 100 metres for the 3rd time of asking. 2 false starts, 2 disqualifications. Well, Lashonte Moore got a desperate start. She really did. And Harrigan going very strongly on the now side. Lashonte Moore coming through very strongly in the middle of the field. Lashonte Moore's going to take this one. She gets it. And next to Lashonte Moore, Chandra Stirrup in 2nd place. Pick up 3rd place in a moment. That was a terrible start by Lashonte Moore. And she survived the race at 11:04. It's only plus 0.2. But I tell you what, that was a dreadful start. She was absolutely left for dead in the blocks. But my goodness, the second half of her race was very, very powerful indeed.
I think she was just playing it safe. 11:04 is confirmed as the winning time there. But sitting back in the blocks a little bit after 2 disqualifications is perhaps understandable. Good start there from, I think it was Tahisha Harrigan in the yellow bottom of picture. She was certainly leading her halfway. Then they ran her down and she finished up in 3rd place. It was Moore who fought her way to the front there. It took her about 60 or 70 metres and a very close to 2nd. Stirrup it is indeed, taking 2nd place. Her time confirmed at 11:14. 1/10 of a second down exactly.
You're right about the start. Tahisha Harrigan of the British Virgin Islands got a terrific start on the near side, but it was the second half of the race. Chandra Stirrup of the Bahamas coming through, tying up a little bit, overstriding a little bit as Lashonte Moore came up alongside. Interesting look from the other side. Look how far that Hartigan is ahead, but then this is the close down point. And it looked at this stage as if Chandra Stirrup was going to take this, and then Lashonte Moore, who's really going well at 200 metres as well, has got the speed endurance that takes her through to a very good win at 100 metres. Very powerful. This is going to be a good season for her. Another little look. Had to work hard, but then could relax a little bit in the final stages. Just a little bit. She had to work for that.
All those full starts do start eating into the programme time. The men's 200 metres, the next event, due off shortly.
Well, there's the result of the women's 100 metres. Lashonte Moore 11.04, Chandra Stirrup 11.14, and Tahisha Harrigan 11.17. That confirms the first 3. Well,
the stadium has continued to fill over the last half hour, 1 hour. Asafa Powell, I suspect, attracting a lot of people into the arena.
Well, there's the Diamond League race standings over 100. Jetta, Moore, Stirrup, Fraser and Harrigan. Carmelita Jetta not here, and ties with Lashanti Moore on overall points. Remember, it's the best over 7, a series of 7 races over 100 metres that decides who in fact will come out the champion of the event overall.
And then a $40,000 diamond awaits the winner of each discipline. So not a bad little carrot to have dangling at the end of the season. While the track action continues with this men's 200 metres next up. It's a glorious evening, by the way, still very, very warm. The results we're being given are saying it's 25 degrees now. It's cooled a little bit, but it's quite humid as well. And we look forward to plenty of action coming up in the field as well. The women's pole vault is underway. We'll update you with that very shortly. The women's high jump has just got underway. Men's long jump, men's discus as well, yet to come. It really is a packed program this evening. And of course this stadium, the scene of the world records by Hicham El Guerrouj at 1500 metres and the mile. Both those records still stand, and we do have some great middle distance racing coming up later on. Women's 800 metres, men's 1500 metres, men's 5,000 as well.
Just a little look back at the javelin competition, which has of course now finished. And going through the 1, 2, 3 rubric we saw, and this is Viljoen, the South African, who got second place with about 63.04. The rubric had 62.44 incidentally, but then it was Spatakova with her 4th round throw. She only took 4 throws, but was leading pretty well throughout. Really hits that very, very hard to 68 metres and 66 centimetres, so very close to that 70-metre line, and that's a brilliant performance. She's back in business now. Had the Achilles tendon problem, but okay now. There's confirmation of the result. A meeting record, 68.66. Spatakova from Viljoen from Rubric. Season's best for Rubric. There are the points. 6 for Spatakova. She leads quite comfortably. Abakumova at 4 and Viljoen 2. The same applies for all of the events. It's over a period of over a season of 7 Diamond League events.
Well, there is the lineup for this men's 200 metres. I can tell you it's one of the very highest order. 3 of the all-time top 10 go in this field. Men in form, of course. Walter Dix there in lane 5, and Wallace Spearman outside him in lane 6. The only other Diamond League 200 metres so far this season was in Shanghai, where Usain Bolt won in 19.76 into a headwind. And 2 or 3 men in this field capable of that sort of time. Diego Marani goes in lane 1, a European junior bronze medalist last year for Italy. Ainsley Waugh in lane 2 for Jamaica, Commonwealth gold medalist in the sprint relay. He's a good swimmer too, is Ainsley Waugh in 2. Marvin Anderson in lane 3, 4th in Shanghai over 200 metres, and World Championship 6th placer back in 2007. Steve Mullings in lane 4, again World Championship gold medalist last year in the sprint relay for Jamaica. Walter Dix in 5, an Olympic bronze medalist over 100 and 200 in 2008. Tiny man, only 5'7", Walter Dix, but watch him, he's in a good form, 19.89 already this year. Wallace Spearman, there he is in lane 6. Big fellow Wallace Spearman, in very good form too. 5th fastest man in history. There he is in that black strip. World Championship silver medalist in 2005. Xavier Carter goes on lane 7. The 4th fastest man in history. He's 6'3" tall, Carter. He's a huge man. Paul Hessian, national record holder for Ireland over 100 and 200 metres. He's missed a semi-finals, this man. He's made a lot of semis at European and world level, and it's time he stepped up and made a final. Certainly his talent deserves it. And completing the lineup there on the outside, we had a quick glimpse of Marlon Devonish, Great Britain. Only just inside 21 seconds this year, the Olympic gold medalist in the sprint relay back in 2004, of course. And a former world indoor champion is Marlon. A lot of people forget that one, back in 2003. But Walter Dix, well, a 24-year-old who was the 7th fastest man in history, is quite a contrast in stature at 5'7" with Xavier Carter out in lane 7, who is 6'3". In between them, Wallace Spearman. And Walter Dix it is, who is second on the world list behind Usain Bolt. Anderson there in lane 3. Not a bad draw, that one. He's run 20:48 this year, but is knocking on the door of sub-21 second territory as the Jamaican. Spearman there being introduced to the crowd. He won in Rabat last weekend. There was a very good meeting in the Moroccan capital. Won over 200 metres in 20.35 did Spearman. 20,000 in the crowd there apparently, and pretty unruly crowd from what I heard today. There's Dix striding around, keen to get this one underway. They're already about 5 minutes late. They've been waiting a long time, these men, over on the far side from the home straight, of course. Spearman. Well, his father, Wallace Spearman Sr., was a pretty useful sprinter. 20.27 his father ran. He reached the semi-finals of the Olympic trials in the USA in '84 and in 1988. I think virtually any other country in the world, 2027 would get you into their Olympic team. Not the USA, though. However, they don't have it all to themselves these days, do they? For what, the last 3 or 4 years, the Jamaicans have been producing something pretty special. So the lineup again: Marani of Italy in 1, War of Jamaica in 2, then Anderson of Jamaica in 3, Mullings, the Jamaican trio, completed in lane 4, then Dix in 5, watch him, Spearman in 6 in great form, Carter 7, Hessian 8, Devonish in lane 9. Well, a bit of a twitch on the outside there from Marlon Devonish, I think, but they got away. Having real problems here in lane 3 is Marvin Anderson in the white strip, but going really well at the moment in lane 5 is Walter Dix. Walter Dix leading from Spearman at the moment. Dix gets his heads down, starts pumping away hard. Spearman now getting into his running, but he's left it too late, beginning to close him down. But look at the time, 1986. It's a new meeting record. The wind marginally in their favour. My word, that was good sprinting. He really took Spearman to the cleaners around the bend, and the race was put to bed by then. Spearman, who always unleashes those long legs in the second half, began to come back at him, but credit to Dix because he held him at bay. And actually, thinking about it, I'm not sure that Spearman really did come back at him very much, Stuart. The time confirmed at 1986 there, and it is a new meeting record. Spearman, a good second behind him, would have been very close to 20 seconds, but a big gap behind them.
Well, Paul Hessian it was that got into 3rd place. I mean, he's taken a scalp in Xavier Carter, but it's Michael Johnson's meeting record that's gone. It stood at 1993, set in 1999. It was a terrific run off the bend. His transition into the straightaway was pretty good. Good leg speed. He's tying up a little bit, but I'm not surprised. And Hessian right on the outside, second from the left of your shot, sneaks through to 3rd place with a time of 20.6, but this was world class in every sense, and he did it all really in the first 100 metres. He came off the bend way in the lead and got his just reward, really.
He's a strange looking sprinter, isn't he, Stuart? Looks very tight in the shoulders, pumping hard there, very high accentuated knee lift, whereas clearly Spearman behind him is far more rangy, more relaxed looking sprinter, but was beaten by a couple of metres.
Yeah, he was. All the damage was done in the first, really, the first half of the race, and then through to 2/3. Dix really flew round that bend. He took the stagger back on Spearman on that first bend, and really that must have put a bit of pressure onto him. Spearman did come back, you're quite right. He did start to close down a little bit in the final stages, but the expression on his face tells you that there's a lot of tension there in the shoulders. Left a little bit to do at 20.05. But Dix had the pedigree, and that was a good run and a good meeting record. And the records are tumbling here in Rome.
Aren't they just? It just underlines how perfect the conditions are. Walter Dix then 19.86 for a new meeting record in the 200 metres. Wallace Spearman in second, and a big gap back to Paul Hessian. A good third though for the Irishman. And Dick Spearman and Hessian share those Diamond League points on this occasion. And this is the way it sits now, with Bolt and Dix out in front together with 4 points each.
Well, the high jump now. Shanti Lowe prefers to be known by her married name now. Shanti Lowe in very, very good form at the moment. 1m90, her best performance thus far. There's still 6 or 7 in the competition, incidentally, so it's still relatively in its early stages. They're at 1m90, it's going up to 195. That's a 190 clearance. And Blanka Vlasic, number 1. This is her clearance, 1m90. So all the top names there, as one would expect them to be. For the most part, the big jumpers, it's just their second jump of the competition. Good lift. I was talking to the agent of Blanka Vlasic, and really, she said that when she's been going for the world record, she's been forcing it a bit in the approach. If she'd just do what she normally does, then that record is there for her. But she does a lot of competitions, I must say. Well, the crowd is built actually around this side of the stadium. Most of it is in the home straight, out of your camera shot, but it is sparse on the far side. But it's a big stadium. This De Martino.
Yes, everybody over this height 190. 3 athletes struggling, getting over the second time. Amongst them, Di Martino there of Italy. I was talking to Vlasic's father at lunch, and he was saying that the reason she's been a little bit inconsistent recently, remember 192 in Ostrava a couple of weeks ago, is because she's tired from her winter's training, but training very, very hard. And they believe that when that freshness comes through, so the big heights will come. We shall see. Well, Moura of Brazil in very fine fettle, and there she pops over her opening height, 4m50. The last to come in, by the way. World indoor champion, of course, since March, is the 29-year-old. She really has matured well. Her lifetime best now 485, so she's got plenty more to come. Kate Dennison got over 440 at the second attempt, by the way, and has had 2 failures now at 4m50.
Interesting, Tim, that Isambayeva is not here. People wonder where she is. We're told she's taking a break, and there's no injury, we're told. Just taking a break. Her coach is here, Mr. Petrov. Reese Hoffer then. Let's just follow up on this shot put that finished some time ago. And Reese Hoffer in 3rd place with 21m15. And Dylan Armstrong, incidentally, who led for most of the competition, took 2nd place with his 4th round throw of 21m46. But this fella takes some beating. But he was beaten until the very last throw of the competition for him. 21.20 was his best. He was down in what, 3rd place? Then it all changed. He really walloped that. 21 meters, that in fact is not, that was the 21.20 as far as I can make out. I think that was his 5th round throw, but he went on in the 6th round to throw 21m67. That throw was the previous one. He's a big man, very powerful, and tremendous athleticism. That's only just over the 21-meter line, but certainly it took his last throw to take this championship and to maintain his unbeaten record for this season. There it is, 21.20. One more throw to go on that. But there is the final result. 21.67 equals the meeting record. Ulf Timmermann's meeting record, incidentally, he's equaled it. Set way back. Armstrong and Hoffer in 2nd and 3rd, as you saw. There are the points. 12-4-2, maximum for Cantwell, unbeaten in this diamond shot put competition thus far. There's the lineup for the men's 100 meters. It's not a Diamond League event, this, but it's a good one, though. Collier of Italy, Forsyth, Jamaica, Seiden Dury of Norway, Asafa Powell of Jamaica, Lemaitre of France, more about him in a moment, Manjoc of France, Clark of Jamaica, Lewis Francis, Great Britain, Pognon, France. Well, we're just getting the introductions. Forsyth, Mario Forsyth of Jamaica has just been introduced. There he is, the big fella. 10.16 this season, which equates to his personal best. We missed Collio, the Italian, right on the inside. There he is. They've gone back to catch him. He's 30 now. 10.06 in 2009, only 10.34 this season. Another look at Forsyth. Didn't get through the heats in Oslo, incidentally. Seidin Nduri, Gambian and now Norwegian record holder at 100 and 200 metres, going pretty well. Olympic semi-finalist. How is the man greeted? Asafa Powell, history's most prolific sub-10 second 100 metre sprinter. Now then, Christophe Lemaitre of France. He forgot his spikes. They had to rush round to try and buy some new ones. He's not got quite the right size, but he's 10.03. He's only 19. Watch out for him in the European Championships. Mathieu Mbanjok of France. Mbanjok, I should say. The Mediterranean champion last season. Lerone Clark of Jamaica. 10.10 this season. Mark Lewis Francis, Great Britain. Didn't make his way through the heats in Oslo. Hopes to do better in this final here. 10.21 is best this season. Well, we've seen Roland Pognon of France, prolific indoor sprinter, over 60 metres. But this young fella, so much written about him, so much spoken about him, and he's in a lane next to Asafa Powell. There they are. Collio, Forsyth, Seidin Nduri, Powell, Lemaitre, Mbanjok, Clark, Lewis Francis, Pognon. The men's 100 metres. The young Frenchman, the last to go down. Such is the confidence of a maturity beyond those years, certainly. How will he fare here? He's got Powell next to him. How will he respond when the surge comes? Well, Asafa Powell got a terrific start, and on the other side, Lerone Clark got away well, but Asafa Powell's absolutely burying this field. Powell is away. He's brilliant away, and I think the young Frenchman could have got second, 9.82 with 0.6 metres per second, and that was a good run by the young Frenchman. I have to say, he's going to be a real problem for the British sprinters, certainly in the European Championships. They've dominated in the past, but here's another Frenchman, but Asafa Powell is a man who is proving to be the number one at the moment, with Usain Bolt injured, Tyson Gay with a slight strain. He's the top man at the moment, 9.82. Tyson Gay's meeting record still stands at 9.77.
Well, that is the fastest time in the world this year, 9.82 confirmed. Still waiting for that second place to come up.
Lemaitre 10.09 in second place. That is a terrific run, just ahead of Mbanjok.
Very impressive, Powell. You're right, Stuart. He had them buried at 50 metres. The youngster, I thought, looked rather shell-shocked through the first half, Lemaitre, but he kept his form, kept his head together. Look at him there in the white vest, middle of the picture. Really struggling to go with Powell and a couple of the others. I think it's Clark that goes away from him as well. But Asafa Powell, at least now, has got rid of that habit of easing off when he's got a field beaten. A couple of years ago, he'd run 9.92 there because he had the field well beaten, and he just seemed to struggle with concentration through the last 20. But there he works all the way through to the line, and that's lovely. There was plenty more there. I do wonder what sort of damage he can do at 200 metres, Powell. I don't think we've seen him anywhere near his best at the half-lap event. But that's a huge winning margin.
I'll tell you what impressed me about the young Frenchman as we look at Powell. He wasn't phased when Powell started to go away. He didn't tie up. He stayed and competed with the rest, and that's a good sign for him. He's a good prospect, but my goodness me, Asafa Powell, dominant at the moment. He's enjoying these moments in the absence of Usain Bolt. although obviously he would want Bolt back on the circuit, as we all would, to see what he can do.
Do you know, we've become a bit, I guess, blasé about these times, Stuart, but if I tell you that only 3 other men in history have gone quicker than that, you'll understand how special that performance was. The fact is that Powell and Gay and Bolt are churning out these sub 10 seconds time in the 9.7s and 9.8s, and of course in Bolt's case the 9.5s, with such regularity. It's absolutely staggering, and it's important you keep things in perspective.
There's the confirmation of that result. Asafa Powell 9.82, world leading time of course. Christophe Lemaitre 10.09, Martial Banjok 10.09. A 19-year-old Frenchman takes second place.
Well, yet another meeting record. They're falling one after another, and when you remember this is the 30th anniversary of the Golden Gala meeting here in Rome, a stadium which has seen world records again and again, then you'll realise just how special it was.
Asafa's enjoying these moments, isn't he? And the crowd are enjoying him too.
Well, they got what they came for. Di Martino then in the high jump now, and the bar at 195. Di Martino goes clear, first attempt. Good clearance. That's well within a compass. She's a 2-meter jumper. One of several athletes to have gone clear at that height. It's shaping up nicely. I can tell you Blanka Vlasic has a clean card so far. Indeed, the whole field are still in that competition. All 9 athletes in the high jump are still in there at 195. They haven't all gone clear, but they're there.
I think this is really the first time we've had a windless occasion. It's as you've seen in the wind speeds in the sprints of just 0.2. There's not much wind affecting, and that will the pole vaulters will enjoy that as well, because really in the past they've had all sorts of problems with the wind blowing across, and there'll be some very, very good clearance. I just wonder if Polnova looks very good, doesn't she? Very, very nice swing on that pole.
Yes, Rogowska, well, she should do too. She has lovely rhythm. World champion, of course, with Yassine Baeva showing. That's not a Pidek, I can assure you that.
I think we both got that wrong, Tim. I must admit, I didn't know.
No, that wasn't Pidek.
That was Rogowska. You're quite right. It was Rogowska. The caption was wrong.
But Yassine Baeva showing real signs of stress and creaking at the seams last year, didn't she, in Berlin, when she was defeated. And I think the wisest thing she's done was to take this summer out, certainly the first half of the summer.
That's interesting, isn't it? Looking at the technique of the 19-year-old Frenchman, Lemaitre on the left of his shot, and Asafa Powell. Look at the difference. They're both slow to come up. Then their eyes come forward. Their heads come up very, very slowly. But there's a young fella who's really determined. And when a man like Asafa Powell leaves you by 3 or 4 meters, then you have to... a skill is not tying up, and he didn't tie up. He really didn't, and that was very impressive. And he'll be very pleased with the time, particularly against this fella. Asafa Powell.
And Dedon Robles next to come in the men's 110-meter hurdles. So, Chanté low, and they're looking strong there at 1.95 as well. She goes clear, first time, and she too has a perfect card. Remember, defeated Blanka Vlasic in Ostrava a couple of weeks ago, gave her a very, very tough competition in Oslo a week ago.
And she is the world leader at 2:04, so in terms of height, and Vlasic has yet to achieve that. This is at 1.95 attempt for Vlasic. She's very, very tall. All of these high jumpers are, really. They're very, very tall young ladies, and very quick. And the approach is very, very important. And they turn into the bar, that inside knee drives high, and then the arch of the back is created, and those legs are pulled away. There's the drive. Beautiful, beautiful jump at 1.95. First time clearance. Yes, this is a better day at the office for both Vlasic and Chanté. Oh, Dwight Phillips now in the long jump. First round jump. Let's see what he can do. Dwight Phillips, the Olympic champion in 2004, 3 times world champion. Started winning in Paris in 2003, then Helsinki, then of course Berlin last year. Very, very quick on the flat. Lovely hitch kick technique, and that is way over 8 meters. He holds the meeting record here at 8 meters and 61. Very fast. It's okay being fast, but that 2.5 hitch kick off the board, it's all about preventing forward or backward rotations there. Look at that. Gets into a lovely leg shoot position at the end. There's still more to come, certainly. And that's, what is it, 8.28, and that's certainly the leading jump.
Well, the barriers on the track tell the story, don't they? It's time for the men's 110-metre hurdles. There's the field for this 110-metre hurdles. I can tell her that the Olympic gold and silver medalists are in this lineup, but not the fastest man in the world this year. That's David Oliver with 12.99. But Deron Robles there, the Olympic champion and the world record holder in lane 4, might want to change that statistic in about a minute's time. Ryan Wilson goes in lane 1 for the USA. He's rounding into form. He's had a lot of races as Wilson. Lane 2, William Sharman, one of the real surprise packages of the World Championships last year. Formerly a decathlete, he was 4th in the World Championships in Berlin last summer, the Briton. Dwight Thomas, 5th in the World Championships, 100 metres back in 2005. He's the national record holder for the Jamaicans. And there is Robles. He fell in Hengelo last weekend in pouring rain. Was beaten by Oliver Ndegu recently. There's Ryan Braithwaite. He is the world champion. He fell in Shanghai himself, the 22-year-old. But, well, only 6th in Bydgoszcz. Bit of a question mark over Braithwaite. There's David Payne, the Olympic silver medalist in 2008 and a bronze medalist in the World Championships either side of Beijing in 2007 and 2009. Andy Turner in wonderful form, the European and Commonwealth bronze medalist in 2006. Although he had a tough time in Ostrava a couple of weeks ago, he hit the first 2 flights. He won in Hengelo on Sunday. Svoboda, massive man, 6'5" tall, the Czech. He goes in lane 8. And then Jason Richardson of the USA completes the lineup in lane 9. World Youth Champion back in 2003. Not only in the 100-metre hurdles, but in 400-metre hurdles. Yes, in the you didn't hear me wrong, at the youth level they run 100-metre hurdles, but he's pretty useful over the 1 lap as well. So, the only Diamond League race so far, won by David Oliver in Shanghai with that 12.99 clocking, where he beat the 2 Chinese, Dongpeng Shi and Lu Zhang, into 2nd and 3rd. No David Oliver here. Robles in lane 4. The world champion Ryan Braithwaite in lane 5. The lineup from the inside again. Wilson in 1 to the right of picture. Sharman in 2. Thomas in 3. Robles goes in 4, the world record holder. Braithwaite in 5. Payne 6. Turner 7. Svoboda 8. Richardson in lane 9. Robles absolutely marvellous in the rain in Ostrava a couple of weeks ago. Well, away first time, good start from Robles, puts the rest of them under pressure already, and already Braithwaite's got some work to do. Robles leading at the moment, Braithwaite in 2nd place, beginning to pull himself together now. Robles still leading, but it's not a big margin. Real good finish there in lane 3 from Dwight Thomas. He might have snatched 2nd place. 13.15 for Robles, but I'm not sure he was happy with that one. Technically, it looked a little untidy. He certainly didn't get away from them the way you might have expected in the second half. When he got into his full speed, he lost the rhythm there, and Stuart, I just sensed an untidy race there from Robles. By his standards, 13.14 is on the slow side, as I said just before they got underway. When he won in Ostrava a couple of weeks ago, he ran 13.12, quicker than that in pouring rain. 7 strides the first hurdle. He actually lacks a bit of edge here. He's lacking edge. He's got that finer edge coming through, and Braithwaite's running him very strongly here at the moment, and so is Dwight Thomas inside. I think, Thomas got the 2nd, Braithwaite got the 3rd. We'll confirm all that in a moment, but certainly it wasn't a great performance by Robles, certainly not. He looked a little bit heavy. I mean, to say that of someone running 13.15, but really he was
very, very heavy indeed. He didn't have the edge that I'm used to seeing from this man. He's so snappy off the hurdles. He's chopping, as you can see. The big man finds these three strides so easy. But you have to say that this is an early part of the season. Just have another look at this. Technically he's okay, it's just edge. It's just racing. He needs some more racing.
We know he wintered well, Stuart. He won the World Indoor title, didn't he, in Doha in March? But in his first big matchup in Daegu against Oliver, he was beaten. Tonight's his first appearance in the Diamond League, and he does get the maximum points. But I'll tell you what, if David Oliver had been watching that, I don't think he'd have seen a great deal to worry him. As you say, probably just short of racing, 2 or 3 runs away from being in top form.
Well, we'll bring you up to date with the British performances. There they are.
Darren Robles 13-14, a comfortable winner as it turned out from Thomas and Braithwaite in 2nd and 3rd. William Sharman down in 9th place, didn't have a good one. Andy Turner 13-48. There's the points allocations, 4-1 for Robles, Thomas, Braithwaite, and that's the way things now sit. The big two out in front and sharing first place, Oliver and Robles. Well, in the discus then, Kanter, the big man. And this from Kanter. Oh, out over 65 metres in the second round. He opened with a 62.98, fairly modest by his standards. But that's not a bad second round effort from Gert Kanter, the Estonian. And the Olympic champion, still going strong in his prime, really, at 31. He's the world champion, remember, from 2007, Osaka World Championship 2007. There's his card so far.
Torniamo sul podio però, è il momento di premiare l'uomo più veloce di questa serata. Ha ritoccato.
Well, the next event on the track is the men's 400 metres. A lot of action on the infield though. Laverne Spencer goes in this high jump next. No. Well, the bar at 198. She's had a perfect card to this point, Spencer. First time clearances at 185, 190 and 195. Not the only athlete to have done that. A couple of others have done it as well. So 3 athletes sharing first place at the moment. The other 2, of course, Shante Lowe and Blanka Vlasic. Can tell you that Gordieva, Strapina, Skalina and Emigren all went out at 195. Harting then. The world champion Robert Harting from Germany. Oh, and that's not a bad effort either. About 66 metres from Harting. And he opened with a 64.83. Remember, we saw Kanter throw 65.80. That one looks, to my money, to have gone slightly better. 66.33 for Robert Harting. Takes the lead in round 2. Well, Spiegelberg then. Only her second vault of the evening. Oh, that's a lovely clearance. At 4 metres 60, yes. Just her second vault of the night. Only she and Fabiana Mura have been that economical.
Blanka Vlasic then, 1 metre 98 in the high jump. Her first attempt. Oh, no. Well, the pressure's on now. No one yet clear at 198. And we've seen her clear these so easily in the past. Spencer has failed. Lowe has failed. Now Blanka Vlasic has failed. Di Martino has failed, and so has Bita of Spain. So really the competition now catching them out. 198, a second attempt now for Ruth Bita of Spain in the high jump. The crowd is very, very noisy here in this stadium. Shared the world silver in 2007. Was a 203 jumper at best. No. So that's 2 failures. One more to go. One more jump to go. 4 women clear at 195 by virtue of first-time jumps. Dwight Phillips, who leads the long jump with that 8:28.
He does indeed, does Dwight Phillips. First round effort from Phillips was a biggie. Nobody else yet over 8 meters. And this the penultimate jump of the second round. So he has a degree of dominance, albeit the early stages so far. Chris Tomlinson incidentally opened with 7:79, but can Phillips extend his lead here? Lovely speed, lovely rhythm, and that's big as well. Well, what a performer he is. 32 years old now, Phillips. He's the oldest in this field by a couple of years, and quite a few years older than the majority of them. Little drop of the hips there, but really attacks the board. 3 times world champion, Olympic champion back in Athens in 2004. And can't you see why? That's big. 8 meters 42, the longest jump in the world this year.
There's the lineup for the men's 400 meters. Luciadello of Italy drawn in the inside. Then Chris Brown, Bahamas. Michael Bingham of Great Britain in 3. Jeremy Warriner, USA 4. Then Angelo Taylor in 5. Gonzalez 6. Quao 7. Neville 8. And Borley in lane 9. That was Luciadello, 46.13 this year. It's his first big race. Chris Brown has done very well indoors, the world indoor champion. Michael Bingham was 3rd in Shanghai in this race. Jeremy Warriner, 2 golds each from Athens in 2004, Helsinki 2005, Osaka 2007, but 45.41 this season. Vulnerable. The big fella, Angelo Taylor, drawn on the outside of Jeremy Warriner. 2 Olympic titles at 400-meter hurdles. Such an all-round talent. Gonzalez then, the Jamaican, Commonwealth bronze medalist in 2006. René Quao, 2009 world bronze medalist. He's a strong finisher. I'll have to watch him. Borley is the Belgian in lane 9. Seemed to have missed David Neville in the 8th lane. David Neville, we mustn't forget him, in lane 8. He's in very good form. He was 2nd in Shanghai. There's Borley. You just see behind him there in the 8th lane is Dave Neville. There he is. Olympic bronze medalist. So, Luciadello, Brown, Bingham, Warriner, Taylor, Gonzalez, Quao, Neville and Borley, the men's 400 meters.
Adesso chiamo il tecnico.
Well, Warriner went off very quickly indeed. He's made up a little bit of ground on Taylor, but Taylor also has made up ground on Gonzalez right on the outside. Not a lot in it, but those two, Warriner and Taylor, going very strongly indeed. Brown also from lane 2 is right up on Bingham of Great Britain. Right on the outside, Borley is going well, and so is David Neville. Oh, and Borley, oh, is that Neville that's gone? I think it is. There was a real problem there. Neville's gone. Borley still remains. I'm not sure what happened there. But there comes Warriner versus Taylor, these two into the straight, and Brown also from lane 2. It's Warriner versus Brown versus Taylor. Angelo Taylor and Jeremy Warriner. It looks as though he's going to hold it, or is he? Angelo Taylor coming through on him. It's going to be very close. Warriner gets it, Taylor in 2nd, Brown in 3rd, and it was 44.71. Wow, they had to work hard for that, and Taylor almost got there. Angelo Taylor put Jeremy Warriner under so much pressure in that race. A real battle down the home straight, and I don't think Warriner's just realised that he got it. It was such a good run in the end, but he's vulnerable at the moment. We're not seeing those close to 44 flat times from Jeremy Warner, although it's 44.73. World-leading time, most definitely. Beats Calvin Smith's time set in Gainesville in April, but Angelo Taylor really put the pedal down in the final stages. What a run!
Well, there does seem to be a bit of spark missing from Warner's running, doesn't it? It's unfair probably to say that when he's just run the fastest time in the world this year, 44.73 his time given. He wins it by a second, but that was a real 400-metre hurdler's 400-metre race, wasn't it? Angelo Taylor, big, powerful guy, massive across the shoulders, and uses all that strength to grab back Warner inch by inch over the last 50. Crashes to the ground afterward, but just misses the win. Very, very good race indeed between these two. But Warner, you know, a couple of years ago, Stuart, he'd have been 3 or 4 metres down the track from that and cruising. He's having to really fight for the points here.
1/100th of a second between them in the end. There it is. It's the torso that counts, and there's not a lot in it. But Brown, you have to give him credit, the world indoor champion, running from a difficult lane 2, really. He complained in the technical meeting that Michael Bingham got advantage when he was the indoor champion. He should have had lane 3. There was a bit of controversy there, but in the end, he got a good run and and beat Michael Bingham quite comfortably. I wonder what happened at 200 metres. What on earth happened to David Neville? It almost looked as though something hit him as he went round past 200 metres. I'm certainly not sure whether we'll get pictures of that, Tim.
I think it was probably a hamstring or cramp, Stuart. It's been very, very hot today. If athletes haven't been drinking lots and lots of water through this last couple of days, then they might well have dehydrated. I hope it's just cramp and not a real pull. But Warner, I said he had to battle for it, but you know what? He still has that ability to look so relaxed, doesn't he? Shoulders lovely and low, jaw very, very relaxed, which is always a good sign. To his right, to the left out of shot there, this man, Angelo Taylor, was anything but relaxed. He was punching his way to the line there like a heavyweight boxer. Just missed it. Yeah, 1/100th of a second. I think that's what that finger means, because that was the margin.
There's the result of that 400. Warner 44.73, Taylor 44.74, Brown 45.05, Michael Bingham 46.04, just behind Quo. And there are the points, 8-2-2. But Angelo Taylor almost got there. If you ever want to know what oxygen debt is, just look at Angelo Taylor lying on the deck trying to recover. Meanwhile, Gerd Kanter in the discus. He's so consistent in this event, he really is. He's a powerhouse, and he's capable of, 65-metre pluses all the time. Just stays in. From the back of the circle, transfer the weight. Keep the right arm active, but leave it behind, and then unleash a 67-metre 69 throw that takes him into the lead.
So, Blanka Vlasic then. Third and final attempt at 1.98 m. Maybe those legs are still fatigued. This her chance. She lies in second place at the moment. Perfect card up to this point. But Vlasic here could leap past Laverne Spencer if she gets this. Yes! Oh, well, that'll have done the confidence a bit of good. She's not got quite the same strut these days as she's displayed for the last, 3, 4, 5 years. That was a very gutsy one. Look at the determination on her face there as she hit that last stride. I think she looks over there at her coach, her father, and says, there, Dad, it's coming together, we can do it. 1.98 m for Blanka Vlasic, at the third time of asking, however.
Second attempt, 1.98 m. Chante low. Oh, yes! Well, now that takes her into the lead. 1.98. Second time clearance.
It's a strange way of showing it, because that jump was before Vlasic, of course. That's a second time clearance from Chante Low. That Vlasic's attempt, I can confirm, was a third time clearance. That holds the lead, and Vlasic, despite that third time clearance at 198, remains in second place behind the American.
Mura in the vault. Fabiana Mura of Brazil, world indoor champion, South American record holder. She's got a best this season of 4 meters and 85. And in the absence of Isambieva, looking good, and that was good. She really is going so strongly at the moment. 4 meters 70. A very fine clearance. Look at that lovely hang and developing the bend in that pole to work throughout that technique. And there's a lot more left in the tank there. I just wonder whether now Chantelot has the power to really put pressure onto Vlasic. Well, she's got a couple more attempts.
Back to the track then for this 2-lap race for the ladies. 800 metres, and there is the lineup. Britain's Gemma Simpson, one of 2 Britons in this one, fresh from a very good personal best over 1,500 metres in the USA. The Italians, of course, will be cheering for Elisa Kuzma. Janeth Jepkosgei, the athlete's in pretty good form. Winner in Shanghai 3 weeks ago, and then in Hengelo again. There's Haklaf, Halima Haklaf, fresh from a new personal best in Rabat last weekend, where she was a winner just outside 2 minutes, the Moroccan. Well, it's a packed field, it really is. If I tell you there are 14 starters, don't adjust your sets, it hasn't gone double. There's far too many in this for an 800 metres for my money. There is little Jenny Meadows. And Jenny, who had a rough ride in Hengelo last weekend, said she was badly boxed for so much of the race. Really couldn't find any way out of the traffic. Reina and Kuzma Piccione there, sharing lane 4, the 2 Italians. Hazel Clark, 5 times US champion, also in this lineup. And there is Janeth Jepkosgei in lane 6. The Kenyan was the world champion in 2007, a winner in her 2 races so far this year in Shanghai and Hengelo. She's the Commonwealth champion to boot. And just beginning to return to her best form, I think. She's looked pretty good so far this season. Hasn't yet broken 2 minutes, though, this season. Indeed, very few women this summer have broken 2 minutes. Just 4 names top the season's list with the sub-2 minute clocking. Jenny Meadows there just acknowledging the applause from the crowd. World Indoor Championship silver medalist, remember, in Doha back in March. And she was second in Shanghai, Jenny, in very good form. She said when she got back from Hengelo last weekend, she put in a training session. Talking to her yesterday, she said she put in a training session where she started producing personal bests in training. Now let's hope that augurs well for her run here tonight. So often the opposite is what happens when you're going well in training, particularly in the middle distances. Darden and Balcinaite on the outside there. Dominique Darden of the USA is the pacemaker, tasked with going to 400 metres in 57.5 and then going to 500 metres. Away they go. Big field this one. Watch when they break from lanes at 100 metres as they go into the back straight. Let's hope the heavy traffic doesn't lead to any fallers, but that is too many for an 800 metre field in my opinion. That's why they run it in lanes. It's a clue, the number of lanes. And quick running from Jepkosgei straight away there from the first 150. She's in second place behind Darden. Meadows back in about 7th place. She's a tiny figure, by far the smallest in the field, even smaller than the Italian Kuzma. Single file though, it's pretty quick, and Darden's gone out fast. Jepkosgei, who does like to run quickly, remember her best ever season back in 2007. She ran race after race from the front at lightning speed. But Meadows just moving up on the outside here. She said yesterday she doesn't care if she ends up running on the outside and the extra distance. She just doesn't want to be boxed again like she was last weekend. They're coming to 400 metres, and Darden looks to have done a pretty good job to me, Stuart.
Yes, indeed, but they've bunched, as you said, and this is danger, but Jenny Meadows has got into an absolutely superb position, ready to attack. Jepkosgei is there, Clark is up there, so is Haklaf was in that group as they went through 400 metres, but Jenny Meadows is absolutely poised. She's got the big name in front of her. Now then, what can she do?
Meadows up alongside Jeb Koskei. Remember, this was the way it was in in Shanghai 3 weeks ago, and Meadows has run this one better. She hasn't given ground at 200 metres. Leads going into the final bend. Haklaf on her shoulder, remember, the young Moroccan, full of enthusiasm at the age of 21 from that personal best. Meadows, though, running the shortest line. Jeb Koskei on the inside there is boxed. Haklaf holding them back in second place there. And Meadows has got to kick hard from here. She's beginning to get daylight away from Clark back in fourth place. Jeb Koskei looks bitten, but has Morocco's Haklaf got it? She has got the legs. Haklaf comes through for the win. It's a very strong run, and Jeb Koskei there just snatches second place from Meadows at the line. 1:58.40. Now the 800-metre season is definitely underway in 2010. That's the quickest time in the world this year by some margin, and a really, really special run from this young lady, Halima Haklaf. Her older brother is an international distance runner, Abdelkader, although he didn't run too well in Rabat at the weekend. He was 6th or 7th. This young lady was a winner there, and she's just knocked over 2 seconds off her personal best. That's a massive win for the young Moroccan, and the fastest time in the world this year.
Tactically, Jenny Meadows got it perfectly right. She was in the right place at the right time with the second lap to go, with 150 metres to go. Well, she was perfect. Haklaf, though, just had a little bit left in the tank, and so did Jeb Koskei. An anxious Jeb Koskei, rocking and rolling, coming through to the finish, but a very fine run by all three of those athletes. And Meadows, you've got to say, she commits and commits well now. She's a world-class athlete. She proved it in Berlin, and everyone in the world knows it now, and they all know that she's one of the athletes they've got to beat. Haklaf on this occasion did the job, and the young woman, Jeb Koskei, the world champion in 2007, just managed to scrape past her into second place. Good race, though.
Great place times as well. The first 6 athletes under 2 minutes, including Gemma Simpson in 5th with 1:59.58.
Well, now then, a high jump competition which has really opened up here. Low, attempting 2:03. Vlasic went over 2:01 first time. Put the pressure back on to Chantelot, and she took 3 attempts at 2 meters and 1. There you've got it. So at the moment, Blanka Vlasic is back in the driving seat. They're both attempting 2:03. Vlasic is next alive to jump. And what a struggle she had at 1:98, though. Look at that. Got it on her 3rd attempt. First attempt at 2:01, which equals her season's best. Now then, what can she do?
Well, this is what they like. The stage to themselves, the spotlight on the individual. Vlasic controlling the crowd, just as we saw in Oslo a week ago. Well, she couldn't have asked Stuart for any better rhythmic clapping than that. They were all willing her over there, but it was a refusal in effect.
Well, it was. She really forced that again. She's driving into that bar and got nowhere near the elevation she needed.
Well, Malachowski then in this discus. We're now in the 4th round here for Malachowski, and that's massive. Oh, the Poles hit a really big one there. The Olympic silver medalist in 2008. World silver medalist last year. I guess he's getting a bit fed up with those second places, but he'll have to battle just as hard come Barcelona on those European Championships. 68.78 for Malachowski. That's a season's best, and not far shy of his personal best. Takes the lead.
Well, back in the high jump now. And Chantelot knows that she can still win this competition. Both she and Vlasic have failed. Vlasic leads by virtue of the first time clearance at 2:01, whereas Lowe took 3, as you can see. But if she were to clear this on the second attempt and Vlasic was to fail it, Well, it's all back again with her. Ooh, yes, she has. Oh, I say. 1 centimetre below her personal best, and the pressure is on now because Lowe goes back into the lead. The 3 attempts at 2:01 doesn't matter anymore. Unless, of course, Vlasic goes clear at this height too. Brilliant jump though, really went for this. That knee drove so high, look at that, lovely elevation. Oh yes. So fast for a big woman into the bar. Her best, she's the world leader at 2:04 this season, so really that... Now then.
Well, Spiegelberg in this pole vault competition has been vaulting well. First time clearance at 460, that was only a second vault. Third time clearance at 470. There it is, yeah, absolutely loves it, the German. That one just a couple of minutes ago.
I say, this is a big, big jump. Vlasic. Got to clear this. Oh, and she does that. Well, that's true. That's a true competitor. I mean, 2:03. So she goes back into the lead now. Now, Lowe knows that she's got to go higher than Vlasic. I know that sounds silly, but it's on countback I'm talking. They've both had one failure at 2:03. So it's all down to what happens at 2:05 now. Now, this is the competition of the season. Conditions perfect. And that was terrific. Lowe practices. That's a rehearsal. Well, it's all going on, and we've just about to start the men's 5,000 meters. Osorio, Kogo, Kipchoge, of course, holder of the meeting record here. More about him soon. Remember in Oslo, 10 men under 13 minutes. Chepkok was one of them. Tariku Bekele was there as well. Kipsero was there. Murga won it. And so this is going to be a very, very good race. We've got 2 good pacemakers. We've got Suleiman Simotwo. He'll take the group to 3,000 meters, hopefully. We're looking at 7:40 at 3,000 meters, which is inside 12:50 pace. If it was an even pace situation, of course it never is. And then, of course, Bergen will take to 2,000 meters, hopefully in 5:06. So both of those times just fractionally inside 12:50. The world leading time 12:51.21 by Eliud Kipchoge. Just waiting to get them underway. Kipchoge, incidentally, was 14th in Oslo. He had treatment for malaria. He had a real problem, and we understand he's back in business now. We shall see. Big field. Well, there are 16, including the 2 pacemakers. And once again, I expect it to be fast. Very fast indeed. The man who emerged, incidentally, from the Oslo race was Imen Murga. He's a 10,000 meter man, really, although he was third in Doha in 5,000, then won the race. He's in about 7th or 8th place at the moment. And we'll look for those times. They're looking for something under 12:50. Back to the race in a moment.
Shante Lowe then. First attempt at 2:05. This for a new US record, a new personal best, of course. Not a bad attempt, though. Not a bad attempt. She's in 2nd place, remember, on countback. 2:03 is a wonderful jump from her tonight. It really does underline that US record a couple of weeks ago of 2:04, 2 meters and 4 centimeters.
Well, Tariku Bekele is the man, the Ethiopian, a brother of the great man, who's leading the race, just 3 or 4 meters off the pacemakers there. Just checking 1 or 2 of them. Chepkok is up there as well, the Kenyan who featured well in the last race. Daba is there as well.
Well, back to this long jump competition. Saladino, Irving Saladino. Opened with 2 no jumps. Then a 7.99 for the Panamanian. The Olympic champion, remember, Saladino. Fouled out in Berlin last summer. Lovely, light, airy looking jumper. Looks almost effortless. But that one from Saladino, around 8 meters. It's wonderful height. 7.99 in the third round was his first valid jump. And that one, yeah, looks well beyond 8 meters. Remember, at 8.42, he's chasing 8.13 there from Saladino. At least he gets a solid mark on the board. Dwight Phillips still leads with that 8.42.
Bekele then still leading this group. Chepkok in third place. Daba is in second place in the race proper. Kumar is there. Kipchoge is there as well, who holds the best performance for this race. And that a very, very quick time indeed at 12:46.53. He set the meeting record here, obviously, here in 2004. There's Rotic coming through very strongly as well. Kisoria is also there in the orange vest. What was the 1,000-meter time there, Tim?
2:31.97, more or less 2:32, but a little bit worrying, Stuart. The first lap was around 58 seconds. The pacemakers went through crazy pace with the first 400 meters. That lap to take them up to 1,000, 63.4, way outside of schedule. And you don't want pacemakers doing that. You want them, to the point of them being there is to take the pressure, take the psychological and physical effort of leading, and lay down a nice steady rhythm, get the tempo nice and even. And they haven't done that at all tonight. A sub 60, followed very shortly by a 63.5. It's dreadful.
Well, they're looking for the regular pace you're looking for, 61s to 62s, and to maintain that sort of pace throughout. If they can, it'll obviously be a battle towards the end, and the race yet still to emerge, that's for sure. Bekele still leading the pack as they go into that back straight once again. Nothing much occurring at the moment, Tim. It's a very steady race. Rotic is there. I was just looking for Murger. I think he's a little... Oh, I think Murger's down in about... Is that him in 6th place, 7th place? We'll check him in a minute. I mean, he's the winner from last time, and he was very, very strong.
Lapierre then. Fabrice Lapierre, the man of the moment for Australian athletics. World Junior champion earlier on this year, but there's his card, and it's none too impressive, is it, at the moment? Just one valid jump so far for Lapierre, a 7.84 in the second round, and he's a big jumper, this young man. 8.30 this year. He's also had a windy 8.78 back in the Australian Championships. That's more like it. Great height, almost looked to be moving in slow motion, didn't he? He was World Junior silver medalist back in 2002, World Junior champion in 2009. Little untidy in the air there, very, very strange technique. But the Commonwealth bronze medalist in 2006, 8.11. At least he's up there, but he's in third place, Lapierre. Now, Spiegelberg again. No, Spiegelberg there at 4.75. Cleared 4.70 at the third attempt. That's a third and final failure at 4.75. Moura is passing at this height, but has the win under her belt anyway. She cleared 4.70 at the first attempt, did the Brazilian, but that's a good night's work by young Spiegelberg. Well, somebody getting an ankle strapped up there. In fact, it's Blanka Vlasic, who is about to jump at 2.05. Shante Lowe has had one attempt, remember, that was a failure.
Well, no change, actually. Murger made his way up into that leading group of 7 or 8 men. I think they've settled down into a good pace now, Tim. I think they're obviously looking for inside 12.50 if they can.
Yeah, I mean, they need to be moving at around 61.5 seconds per lap, and they went through 2,000 metres to in 5:07. So the pace-making, not too bad now. It seems to have settled down a little bit. They were looking for 5:05. 5:07 is solid enough. It means they are indeed shifting at about 61.5 seconds. But there's a long way to go. And 5,000 metres, I always think, very, very tough event. It's where the middle distances and the long distances meet. And getting the training right, getting that balance right between real speed and strength is desperately hard, but once you've got it, then you can race pretty confidently over distances from 800 right through to half marathon. It's a lovely quality to have. But this middle section of the races, we see Vlasic getting ready with that strapped ankle. The athletes just want to hang in there and run as economically as possible in the pack. Vlasic then, first attempt at 2:05. Now, she's been in this territory before. Remember, this height for Chanté Lowe would indeed be a new national record. She is the reigning world champion indoors and out. There's no doubting her temperament. I thought, I must admit, that her relatively poor recent form was perhaps just burnout after several seasons at the top of the world. And she's a prolific competitor. She competes again and again and again. But the explanation we got at lunchtime was that she's just trained so hard that the fatigue has got to ease out of those joints and freshness has got to come back. Is it back yet? No. Not on that Alpha Denaway, and it wasn't particularly close either. Don't let's forget, though, she's a 2 metre and 8 jumper, is Blanka Vlasic. That did come last year. Fabiana Mura then. Mura in the vault, here at 4 metres 80. Oh, that was close. She passed 4:75. She has the competition won. Spiegelberg, remember, second with 3 attempts at 4:75, unsuccessful. Yeah, just came down on the bar there. Lacked enough forward momentum to take her across the bar, but the high point was there. Chanté Lowe then, this time she at 2:05. No. But the confidence is there. It's just oozing out of every pore now from Chanté Lowe. She knows that she's in the form of her life, is the American.
Well, the leader in the race at the moment is Kipsero, Moses Kipsero, the Ugandan, second in the World Cross Country Championships last year. Also up there, Abuya, the World Cross Country Champion. So the cross country boys are really showing some form on the track. Abuya, the big fella, in second place. There's Chepkok, who did so well in the previous race in Oslo. There's Bekele, the younger brother of the great man. I've mentioned that a couple of times. Former World Junior Champion at 5,000. He was second in a very fast finish with Murga. Murga's up there as well in that leading group. It's still beginning to, but they're all bunched, and this is going to be another race, Tim, where we're going to have an awful lot of people close to the 12-minute 50 mark. It's absolutely clear the race is moving into a different era, isn't it, really?
It is indeed. Yeah, that third kilometre was a little bit of a lazy one by their standards. They ran about 2:39 for that third kilometre. They reached 3,000 in 7:46.1. Now Vlasic, second attempt to equal a meeting record here and extend her lead. What she really wants is to have a lead by a clear height. At the moment she leads on countback. Oh no, no, and she didn't look like she believed it there, frankly. That meeting record, remember, belongs to Yelena Slezarenko. Both Vlasic here and Chanté Lowe have equalled it tonight. She's angry with herself there. Now just channel that anger. One attempt left. Does open the door a little bit for Chanté Lowe. Here's the American. Third and final chance to get it right. Deep in concentration. A wonderful contest this. Without any doubt, it's what has spurred these women on to the big heights. And it's great that Blanka Vlasic, after several years of having the roof to herself, has a contest.
2 laps to go then in this 5,000 metres. Kipsero is leading. Abuya in second place. Chepkok in third place. Bekele in fourth place. Behind him is Kisorio of Kenya, the bright orange strip. And with just 2 laps to go, there are a lot of men left in this competition. It's going to be a very good race indeed, as we expected. Kipchoge, the man who holds the best performance, the meeting records, right off the back now, and he's gone. Abuya looks strong. Bekele looks strong. Chepkoch, who featured so well, the Kenyan Armed Forces cross-country champion. The big cross-country men are featuring so well in this race. Now then, who's going to really take off here? Who's got the pace with just a lap and a half to go? Well, certainly Kipsero was fourth in the Olympic final, remember, is leading in that blue vest. Bekele looks strong, in a good position to attack. This is Kisorio on the outside. He's looking good too. Daba also tucked in. There's Merger on the inside. Tucked in on the inside. He's got a lot of work to do in the final stages of this, with just the straight or half the straight way and 1 lap to go now in this 5,000 metres.
Well, those last 2 kilometres have been very slow through at 2:39 and a 2:42 fourth kilometre. They've been gathering themselves for this final lap.
Well, certainly Kipsero has taken off and Abuya in second place. Bekele has gone with him. And Chepkoch is up there as well. Chepkoch moves into third place. And Merger now moves on the inside. The big man who won in Oslo in fourth place now. In fifth place is Kisorio. Now with just about 300 metres to go. It's going to be a real sprint finish for home now. 200 metres to go now. Now who's that in the lead? It's come right from the back of the pack. It's Mutai, I think. It's Mutai, it is. It's Mutai. Sami Mutai, the world indoor bronze medalist at 3,000 metres, with Kipsero in second place. And Merger coming through very, very strongly indeed. Mutai's going to take this. Merger coming through very quickly again. Can Merger do it again? Oh, I'm not sure. I don't think he did. That'll be a photograph for the finish. What a photograph at the end of 5,000 metres. And Mutai came right from the back, just outside 13 minutes. It looked good for the first couple of kilometres after an irregular early fast lap. Merger, well, did Merger get it? It was very, very close to him.
Well, he had it in the bag and then he leaned back at the line. I mean, he was right alongside the guy, leaned back at the line. I'm not sure if he knew which was the finish line. There's a lot of lines down there around the finish. Merger, you can see somewhere back there in the black to left of picture. He's got a lot of work to do here. He's in fourth place. Coming through on the inside, there's a real clash here. Mutahi gets a thump in the back. That doesn't do him any good. It actually doesn't necessarily help you. That it certainly didn't help the other athlete. Merger has it won, and then look. What does he do? That's really bizarre. It's almost like he almost ushers Kipsero, or is it Mutahi, across the line.
Looked as though Mutai got that, didn't it, in the end? We haven't got anything on the computer yet. Excuse me. Mutai has been given it, I think. Yes, he has. Merger in second, Kipsero in third. At the moment, that is. They're still sorting it out. Well, Merger had the free run on the outside. It was Kipsero that was pushed a little bit. Bekele left it too late. This time didn't have a chance. Merger really digging in. Mutai has a little look to his right. And a little push, a little shoulder charge to Merger. I just wonder. Well, what a finish to that. I mean, it was bound to be quick at the end because they were outside of that 13-minute pace towards the end of the race. Now, look at that for a finish for a 5,000 metres. Now then, Tim, what about that?
And in 13 minutes exactly, can you believe it? They still haven't come up with the official result. They're leaving it to the photo equipment, and they're, while on camera there it says 13:00.1. I don't think that's the result yet. Let's wait and see. But what a strange race. They set it up so well. 7:46 at 3K promised a great deal, but they really did. He's right back on the throttle in the final 2 kilometres, and it became a game of cat and mouse with just a very quick final lap, frankly. And then it's a lottery.
Well, certainly Mutai was nowhere near the front. He came from about 8th or 9th back. We hardly got a mention, if at all, until he burst into the front with 200 to go.
Well, that front-on shot, now that was fascinating. Mutahi here, in the lead in the purple. He's aware of Merger coming. And I'll tell you what, he leans right. Look at this.
He does, he leans across.
He leans right. Now that's disqualification territory, I'm afraid.
Yeah, it is. Merger's been given it. Merger's been given it.
That's justice.
Well, it is. Merger's got it. 13 minutes and 12, and I'm just wondering whether Mutai will come up second. Yeah, Mutai has come up with a personal best of 13 minutes 01.2.12. Look at this.
I'm not sure too many of the crowd are actually watching the what's going on the track, what's happening out in the infield.
I have a feeling you're right.
Well, we can confirm Vlasic won on countback from Sean Taylor, but what a contest it was. Like you said, Stuart, one of the best high jump competitions for many a year. Well, Fabiana Mura has the pole vault won. She won it with the first time clearance at 470. Only Spiegelberg went over that as well, but at the third time, the German. Mura then passed at 475, and here she goes at 480. This the third attempt. No, that's a shame, because her first effort looked pretty good. And that for Fabiana Mura, well, it would have been nowhere near the meeting record. That's 5:03 by Elena Isinbayeva. Nonetheless, pushing on well. I wonder how long it'll be before we get other names clearing that 5-meter barrier. Mura just 20 centimeters or so shy of it tonight. There's the result of the high jump. Blanka Vlasic winning with a new meeting record, or equaling the meeting record from Shontae Lowe of the USA. Both of them over 2:03. Laverne Spencer, 1:95 for third. Well, plenty of colour in the crowd. Some of the performers, I believe, who are getting ready for the closing ceremony. Next event on the track will be that men's 1500 metres. And what a beaut that promises to be. And what a night it's been already, with so many meeting records.
This is the high jump third placer, and let's just catch up on that in a moment. That was Laverne Spencer. This is Shontae Lowe, we saw at 2:03. A great performance. Both she and Vlasic cleared 2:03 on the second attempt, but Vlasic with a very good 2:01 first time clearance took it. And in fact, Vlasic retired the third attempt at 2:05. Happy that she'd won with 2:03. The job was done, no need to go any higher. And so the high jump went with the script in the end, although Shontae Lowe was terrific. Good competition, one of the best.
Well, the men's discus competition had Zoltan Kavago in third place, 67 metres 26. Coming in the fifth round for the Hungarian. He'd opened with a very modest 54-metre effort and then put together a marvellous series of efforts. All his last 5 throws well beyond 64 metres. Well, in second place was Gerd Kanter with 67.69, but Malakowski of Poland in undeniable form in the fourth round, 68.78. Confirmation of the finishing order there. The Pole winning from the Estonian and the Hungarian. The Eastern Europeans very dominant there. Robert Harting in fourth place, but a high caliber competition. And the points allocation, 4-2-1, of course, for Malakowski, Kanter and Kavago. And that's the standings at the moment. Kavago and Malakowski sharing the lead in the Diamond League event standings. Well, it's been a very good evening. A couple of races to come here in Rome. Lascinder Deems, without any doubt, the performance of the evening. 52.82, a new meeting record and one of the fastest times in history. That women's high jump competition, though, really epitomising the quality of the meeting. 2:03, equaling the meeting record from Vlasic and Shontae Lowe. A great evening's athletics in Rome.
Una gara adesso di grande tradizione alla Golden Gala, una gara che è stata teatro di un grandissimo primato del mondo che tuttora sussiste in 3 minuti e 26 secondi di Charles Caruso, che qui in percorso.
Well, there's the confirmation of the result of the 5,000 metres. Merger did get it in the end, a very tight finish as you saw, just outside 13 minutes. Sami Mutai, fast finishing, coming from nowhere in second place, and in third place Moses Kipsiro. There are the places right down to Mika Kogo in 13th place.
Well, the athletes lined up for the final individual track event of the evening. There's a relay yet to come, a 4x100 metre relay. But this men's 1500 metres, well, there's some heritage to 1500 metre, indeed miling as well here in Rome. They're the winners of the night. Walter Dix strong over 200 metres, Merger over 5,000 as we saw just now. Dwight Phillips in the long jump was dominant. Malachowski in the discus led a great field. The standard of the athletics tonight, the winning performances, has been amongst the highest of any one-night meeting in quite a few years. Very, very strong indeed, and by far the best meeting of the summer so far. Well, a pretty big field here. 18 starters in this men's 1500 metres. Some might argue that's too many, but it's a field of very high calibre. Augustin Choguet in the lineup with a slight stomach upset, was meant to be in the 5,000 tonight. Look out for Mekanon Gebremedin. He too in very good form. Second in Oslo in 3:49 in that mile last week. Kimutai amongst this field. Philemon Kimutai, who will be wearing number 18. He's the pacemaker. Andy Badley is in there as well. Said his poor run in Oslo last week was down to food poisoning. I was chatting to him yesterday. But Augustin Choguet, well, he's a 3:29 man at his best. He's the fastest in the world this year. That time coming in Shanghai, where he was a winner, beating amongst others Kiprono, the Olympic champion from his own country. But Gideon Gathimba, a name to be watched here as well. He was third in that Dream Mile in Oslo last week in 3:50, a new personal best. Away they go then. Now, the opportunity there to make this one quick. The first pacemaker, Philemon Kimutai, tasked with going to 455, 800 and 152, and then Collins Cheboy will take over and get to 1200 metres, as it says on our paperwork at least, in 2:49. But they do have to go out of the blocks like scared rabbits, these pacemakers, just to get to the front. Choguet slotting into third place there and looking strong. Lovely and relaxed in that blue strip as they come down the straight in front of us. They've settled down nicely now, and that's that Haklaf, I think. Igida, in fact, in yellow, who has moved into third place. Quite a bit of jostling for position there. Andy Badley about 6th from the back and about 10th or 11th place at the moment. But let's see what this 400 metre split is. It looks pretty sensible, and that's good. 55.23, absolutely spot on. And everybody, well, I was going to say in contact, they're a little bit strung out, but most of them will have gone through in around 56 and 56 and a half, which is good timing for the first 400 metres. Nothing too silly. I think the first lap in Oslo last week in the Dream Mile was 52 something, 52.9. Igida in third place, and he's very much the man in form, is Igida. He's taken some big scalps recently. Winner in Rabat last weekend in 3:34. Silver medalist in the world indoors. That's Igida in yellow, quite well hidden there by the two pacemakers. They come down with 2 laps to go. Komen is there. He's run quickly here as well. Daniel Kipchircher Komen ran his 3:29 personal best here in Rome 4 years ago, can you believe? He's been gaining strength recently with some runs over 5,000 metres, but they come through to 800 metres, and they've slowed a little bit. 1:53.51. That lap, 58.2. They've let it go a little bit there.
Be interesting to see how Choguet fares in this, because he did pull out of the 5,000 metres. He's had a problem, a stomach problem, and he was asked if he felt that he could do himself justice here. He said, yes, I think I can, but really he's had some difficulty. Very, very fine athlete, though, indeed, the Commonwealth 5,000 metre champion. He's in second place at the moment, just ahead of Komen in third place.
Choguet and Komen are in second and third as they approach the bell. And the pacemakers have done a very good job here. 1,200 metres coming up, reaching the bell there in around 2:36. They go into the final lap now with plenty of athletes still in touch. It's Choguet from Komen, Gebremedin in third place, and from those who will race. Igida at the moment in yellow, struggling a little bit. 1,200 metres in 2:50, 57.25. That's a pretty solid third lap as they stretch out down the back straight now. It's Komen in second place. Choguet leading with 200 metres to run. He does look strong, and he's not really pouring on the pace here. He's just maintaining a very, very high-level tempo, and it's beginning to take its toll on the rest of them. Komen, if you like, has got the perfect pacemaker with 100 metres to go. It's Choguet from Komen. They come into the straight now. Choguet and Komen, and going well is Rono back in third place, but it's Choge leading and beginning to stretch away. And watch the clock. This is going to be quick. It'll be the fastest time in the world this year by a big chunk. 3:32.21. Well, I thought it was going to be the quickest time in the world this year. 3:32.21, misses it by 1/100th of a second if that time is confirmed. I don't know what sort of stomach trouble he's had, but I wouldn't mind some of it myself, because that was a heck of a run from the Kenyan. Augustin Choge not showing any signs of illness there. The 23-year-old world #1 almost mirrors the time produced in Shanghai when he won. Earns himself 4 Diamond League points there. Great race. But Komen, who loves that sort of run, really hard from a long way out, unable to make any inroads into that lead.
Yeah, it's a pity that Asbel Kiprop wasn't in the race too, because it was a great race between Choge and Kiprop in Shanghai. But this is a good win, isn't it? With Jeffrey Rono, the other Kenyan, coming very strongly into third place. It opened out tremendously in the end. Thought it was going to be a bit closer than that. But Choge certainly, as you rightly say, showed no sign of any illness at all. But he did pull out of the 5. He said he didn't think he could sustain the pace of the 5,000 metres. On today's form, it was a little bit slower than we expected, so he might well have survived in that, Tim. But that was look at that, relaxation, in total control. First came to the fore in 2006 when he won the Commonwealth title. He was 9th in the Olympics, of course, over 1,500 metres. He ran that race with a stress fracture. He's a real man, a real character. He really is, and truly deserved the win.
He's one of few men too with that marvellous range between 800 and 5,000. 1:44 for 800, 12:53 for 5,000 he's run, Augustin Choge. And I'll tell you what, saw them apart there as well. There were several very, very strong athletes who were just blown away in that last 300 metres, couldn't live with him. Confirmation of the winning time there for Halima Haklaf. The world of women's 800 metre running has a new star. The Moroccan winning there from Janis Jepkosgei and Jenny Meadows. The place times very strong indeed. Well, prior to tonight, only 4 women in the world had broken 4 minutes. 6 doing it in the one race tonight. This is the way the points were divided up or have been allocated, with 4 points going to Jepkosgei, Haklaf getting 4 points tonight, and Jenny Meadows doing her cause no harm at all.
Well, the triple jump finished some time ago. Saladuka in third place with 14 metres and 44. That was her third round attempt. Just getting a quick glance at that. We may see the Rypakova jump in a moment, but there it is. Rypakova second, Savigne with a season's best 14.74. We just saw Saladuka's third attempt there. Rypakova, who was the top rank going into this competition, was in second place, Savigne third. There are the points. Rypakova still maintains the lead over Savigne by 2, 6-4. There we go. This is Rypakova. In second place, it was her second round jump of 14 metres and 74. Savigne the same distance, but of course on second best jump that was decided. Savigne of Cuba, beautiful technician in there, very close to 15, 14.74, same as Rypakova, but by virtue of a fourth round jump of 14 metres and 60, takes the lead. Rypakova slightly into a headwind. Savigne with a backwind of 0.4. That's how the luck goes sometimes, but not much to talk about. And that was the women's triple jump, all finished.
I'm trying to think how many events there have been tonight, Stuart, that were weak or even close to weak. I don't think any in the international programme. It's been a fabulous standard meeting. You think about Cantwell's shot, 21.67, equaling the meeting record in the 6th and final round. Blanka Vlasic here, what a high jump competition against Shante Lowe, 2:03 the pair of them. But I guess right at the beginning, Dimas's 400 metre hurdles, perhaps the performance of the meeting?
Yes, it was certainly was very close to the world record there, 52.82. and that a meeting record, a world-leading performance, and clearly the world record is in danger from her this season if she can maintain that sort of form. The conditions were absolutely perfect, but she went into Oslo with a personal best of 50.8 for the just outside 51 seconds it was for the 400 meters flat. Ran a very fast 300 meters, died a little bit in the home straight, but obviously that was setting herself up for this 400 meter race, 400 meter hurdles race. There's the result of the long jump. Phillips, Saladino, Lapierre, good again, 8:42, 8:13, 8:11. And there are the points overall. 4-2. There is the final, or up to date, 5-4-2-2-1.
Just to remind you that the athletes accumulate points from one meeting to the next if they get in the first three. 4-2-1 are the points allocated for each of the first three.
Well, the next event on the track is the 4x100 meters relay. Unusual to see this, but 9 lanes being used. Italy 2, the Netherlands, Poland, France, Jamaica, Italy 1, Switzerland, Spain and Belgium. Those teams will soon be out. Well, at the moment we have what looks like a closing ceremony on the relay is scheduled. We'll have to wait and see whether it happens or not.
Well, the relay was scheduled, what, about a minute ago. It's due to go off, but at the moment out in lane 8 there's a bunch of mini trampolines to the extreme right of your picture. Some young ladies bouncing away to entertain the crowd. Indeed, all the way around the track, apart from the home straight, where there's a lady in gold. Well, I can tell you that the women's pole vault was won by Mura Tachnikova. Yelena Tachnikova of the Czech Republic taking third place with 4 meters 60. Rogovska here of Poland sharing third place. She too clearing 4.60 at the first attempt. They had identical cards, although Tachnikova had come in at an earlier height, but that doesn't bear any standing on the way things appear and when the countback is done. Spiegelberg, well, Silke Spiegelberg, very consistent, and this is an impressive performance from the youngster, equaling her personal best to jump with 4 meters 70 at the third attempt, hence that smile a mile wide. Fabiana Mura, though, well, she has the confidence of an athlete who can win by a distance. She won by a clear, well, she didn't win by a clear height tonight. She won for the first time clearance at 4 meters 70 and had a couple of pretty good attempts at 480, but that was enough to take victory and maximum Diamond League points. Strange sight, isn't it? A pole vault competition without a Sinbayeva. Confirmation of the win, though, for Fabiana Mura, 4 meters 70 from Spiegelberg on the same height. Tachnikova sharing third with Rogovska. Kate Denison equaling her season's better in 7th for the Britain. And the Diamond League points 4-2-1-1. And in the overall standing, Spiegelberg leads from Mura. It is still relatively early days. This is the 4th of 14 meetings in this Diamond League circuit, this inaugural Diamond League circuit. Remember, the London meeting will be a 2-day meeting at Crystal Palace. Gateshead after that one as well in the UK. Only Switzerland and the USA host 2 Diamond League meetings, with Lausanne and Zurich in Switzerland's case.
The athletes for the 4x100 meters relay making their way round, dropping off athletes as they go to their takeover positions. The Italians got 2 teams in this. The Netherlands have got one, Poland, France and Jamaica. It's quite a useful Jamaican side. Obviously, it's not the best side they can put out. I mean, what they've done in the past is quite remarkable. But I'll tell you about their team in a moment. The Italian one team. We've seen one or two of the athletes compete in B races, a couple in the 200 meters earlier on. There's a warm-up. The Swiss are here, the Spanish are here. And Belgian team.
Well, a chance to reflect upon the men's long jump competition from earlier this evening. Fabrice Lapierre of Australia going out to 8:11 with his fifth and final round, his fifth round effort rather. In the final round, he did go out beyond 8 meters again, 8:06, but that was his best, 8:11 for third. Irving Saladino, the Olympic champion for Panama, took him to the fourth round to hit a big one, 8:13. It was one of only two valid efforts on the night, 4 no jumps for the Olympic champion. Dwight Phillips, well, he taught them all how to do it and get it over and done with early on. He opened with an 8:28. That in itself would have been good enough for the win. But in round 2, he hit a big one, which he didn't seem too happy with. But it was an 8:42 effort, and he won by a comfortable margin here tonight.
I think he's not happy because he knows that he's capable of 8:70 and beyond. I mean, he's a champion of some considerable standing. He knows what he's capable of. Holds the championship best performance here beyond 8 meters 60. So I guess in these conditions, that was what he was looking for. It's a 2.5 hitch kick. It's a technique which he's perfected, and that jump just beyond 8 meters and 40. It came out at 8 meters and 42, and that extended his lead. Absolutely, he's very, very quick. He has a very fast approach. He's quick over 60 meters, but it's that 40-meter approach that he needs to be quick over. And he accelerates onto the board. He's got good control and lift, and it's very flat because of his speed. But it's 8:42, and that was a world-leading jump and a win for Dwight Phillips of the USA.
I suppose to athletes of the caliber of Phillips, confirmation of that win for the American, by the way. Dwight Phillips, USA 8:42, well ahead of Saladino and Lapierre, with Johnson the only other man over 8 meters. (4-2-1) the points allocation there, and in the overall standings, Lapierre leads by 1 point from Dwight Phillips. I don't think he's in second and third. There is only one Dwight Phillips. Saladino in third. Wow. There's going to be quite some delay for this relay. Stuart, just thinking about that, we've been talking tonight about a lot of meeting records being set. No world records, of course, but for athletes, I'll break off just to do this result. Choge winning in 3:32.21 from Komen and Rono. 1-2-3 for the Kenyans, with Zogalen of Algeria a good fourth. Good to see Andy Baddeley back in reasonable shape. 3:35 there, but 11th place in what was a pretty packed race.
Well, certainly the relay teams, it's a rare opportunity actually to get 4 fellas out to compete in a 4x100 meters relay. And I suppose on paper the French and the Jamaicans would be stronger, but of course they've got to get the baton round. It's always a case of getting the baton round. But certainly with Pognon, Lemaitre, Le Sour and Mbanjok, the French they're probably more practiced than the Jamaicans. It's a totally different Jamaican quartet that's going to take the baton round here. The Belgians on the outside. There's the Spanish lead-off runner, that's Ivan Macholi. He hands to Rodriguez and Beter and Malovsny. Polish. The Dutch.
have to say, Stuart, that as former Olympic champions, but they are World Championship medalists. The British squad conspicuous by their absence here, and when you look at the makeup here with a lot of European teams, a good Jamaican squad as well, you'd think this would have been the perfect sort of drill, run through, some practice for the British squad to attend.
Yeah, you're right.
Sorry, I was going to say Martin Lewis Francis is here.
Yeah. Well, Andy Turner's here. He's a good first leg runner.
Marlon Devonish is here.
Devonish is here. Yeah, they could have put a 4 in, but there may have been 9 teams invited anyway. The Italians would want 2. So the Jamaican side will be led off by Mario Forsyth. 10.16. His personal best this season. He's equalled the best he set, and that's the Swiss. That's Mancini. The Italian right on the inside is Roberto Donati. He won the B race earlier, one of the B races, in 10.43. He hands to Riparelli, then to Marani and Lamastro. The Dutch, Giovanni Codrington, to Hoogmoord, to Vella, to Lindell. Well, the Polish quartet, Robert Kubicek, Dariusz Kuch, Kamil Masztak and Kamil Krinsky. Kuch are the best of 2006 of 10.17, but the French Ronald Pognon, very, very fast off the blocks, of course. World Relay gold medalist back in 2005 in Helsinki. He hands to the youngster, the 19-year-old Lemaitre, and then Le Sort, and then Mbanjok. So the French really got a good side. Mario Forsyth is a 10.16 man at his best. He's equalled his 2009 performance here. Marvin Anderson, if he's still there, at a very disappointing 200 metres, really struggled. Then Steve Mullins and Lerone Clark. So they've got a good team. The Italians, Tomas Chio, Collio, Gregorio, and Cecucci. The Swiss, Mancini, Bayen, Schenkel, and Schneeberger. The Spanish, Macaulay, Rodriguez, Beta, and Molovny. And the Belgians, that's the Spanish quartet. And right on the outside is Belgium. Jean-Marie Louis, the second in a race earlier on today. Lars Herman, Tony Ferro, and Wout Verhoeven. So that's it for the 4x100 relay. Now then, the Poles have got a good record in 4x4. Not quite so good in the 4x1. The 2 Italian sides here. That's the Dutch, it's Codrington. So here we go then. Italy 2, the Netherlands, Poland, France, Jamaica, Italy, Switzerland, Spain and Belgium. The 4x100 metres relay.
On your mark.
France in lane 4, Jamaica in lane 5. Jamaican quartet not used to getting the baton to each other. In basic speed, they're not bad, as all Jamaicans are. Well, certainly Pognon got away well for France. Not much in it as they go into the first change. Probably Jamaica slightly. Jamaica and France. Jamaica away, France also away, and the young Lemaitre, the youngster, the 19-year-old's making some ground, and it's France leading at the moment as they go into the second changeover on the far bend. France leading at the moment. Jamaica away down that, a very poor changeover here. Italy 2, Italy 1 going very strongly indeed. Out in the 7th lane. Italy 1 going well. France and Italy 1. It's going to be a very big surprise really with the Jamaicans in third, and France are going to win it. France win it. Italy 1-2. Then Jamaica, then Poland, and then the Swiss behind them, and the time 38.49, and the Jamaicans well messed up the change. It was a poor change over at the 200 metre mark, and they suffered badly. They lost 5 or 6 metres there, and the French Well, Pognon Lemaitre, the 19-year-old who was second to Asafa Powell in the 100 metres, ran so well down the back straight. I tell you, he's going to be a real threat in the future. And then behind, he handed to Lesourd and Banjok, who's the Mediterranean champion last season with a best of 10.09, anchored them in. And the French, I guess, in pedigree terms, had the win under their belt, but they had to work hard, and Jamaica suffered. Their baton changing, not very good at all, and you don't very often say that.
Well, Stuart, there's that Jamaican change, the second one. What a mess they made of it. The third leg Jamaican runner going out, Steve Mullins, I think, going out way too slow. The French final changeover was pretty awful too. Look in the white there. Huge deceleration of the outgoing runner. They managed to come back there. The French final leg run, and Marshall Banjok running down Cicucci of Italy there. But a good run from the Italian squad. The French winning going away by a couple of metres from Italy and Jamaica. I don't think that was the Jamaican A squad.
No, not at all. You're right about the French last change, but they had Banjok, who's very useful. He's got a best of 10.09. And the Italian, Cicucci, struggled a bit in the end, didn't he? Got well run down. 38.50 then the time. France with the relay win. Another little look at that changeover, almost like a 400-metre relay changeover. It was so ponderous. But when you got a guy like Banjok on the last leg, then you're in. He's looking at the clock all the way down. And there you have it. No records in that event tonight, but a good competition. Well, the Italian director looking at his team again. A real struggle. Well, and watch the tension come on. The pressure comes on when, of course, Banjok comes past him.
They were in the lead, mind you, at the final changeover. If he spotted that one at that point, then it was justifiable focus on that blue squad, I guess. But here's that final leg run, is it?
Yes.
Down the home straight, and Banjok there showing very good form. To be fair, he took many metres out of the Italian Cicucci, probably about 5 or 6 metres. He took over well behind by the time they got the baton across. Finished 3 metres in front. There'll be a force come the European Championships in Barcelona, the French, no doubt.
Well, there's the result. France 38.50, Italy won 38.72, Jamaica 39.05 in third place.
Well, that race concludes activity here in the Olympic Stadium. Shame they couldn't finish on a win, but nonetheless a very solid performance by that Italian quartet. And it does end what's been a pretty special evening of athletics here in Rome. The Diamond League Series continues. The next meeting, of course, will be at the Akan Stadium in New York. Less than 48 hours away now, that meeting. Great performances tonight from the likes of Lashinda Dimas, Asafa Powell, Haklaf, the new find in the women's 800, and Vlasic and Chanté Lowe in the women's high jump. New York, less than 48 hours away.
Una grande settimana di atletica leggera qui a Roma.
Well, confirmation of tonight's winners in the various disciplines. Pick your favourite. I think Demas in the 400-metre hurdles there to the bottom right, producing the most keenly deserved 4 points in the Diamond League tables. Under 53 seconds, and one of very small select group of women that have done that. But just about every performance, remember, 2 or 3 men going over 21 metres in the shot put was special as well. Stuart Story and myself, Tim Hutchings, here in the Olympic Stadium in Rome. It's good night.